Bhagavate Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayanti Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 13, the advent of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, text 43 onwards. Krishnera Vyoge Yat Prema Cheshtita Asadiya Purna Kaila Apanavanchita. In separation from Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu relished all these ecstatic activities, and thus he fulfilled his own desires. In the beginning of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said the Lord Chaitanya appeared in order to taste the feelings Radharani felt upon seeing Krishna. Krishna himself could not understand the ecstatic feelings of Radharani towards him, and therefore he desired to accept the role of Radharani and thereby taste these feelings. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna with the feelings of Radharani. In other words, he is a combination of Radha and Krishna. Therefore, it is said, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. By worshipping Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu alone, one can relish the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna together. One should therefore try to understand Radha Krishna, not directly, but through Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and through his devotees. Srila Narottam Das Thakur therefore says, Rupa Raghunatha Pade Highway Akuti Kabe Ham Bujab se Jugal Piriti. When shall I develop a mentality of service towards Sri Rupa Goswami, Sarada Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, and the other devotees of Lord Chaitanya, and thus become eligible to understand the pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna? So it's not at all easy or something very trivial to understand the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Sentimentally, so many people will say so many things, but purification of the utmost degree, and even after that, as Narottam Das Thakur has said, develop a mentality of service towards the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then we will be able to understand the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Not just like that. People just start speaking on especially the topmost pastime, Ras Lila, between Krishna, Radharani, and the gopis. What do they know about? First of all, Krishna Tattva, then Radha Tattva, and then Ras Lila. Nothing. Ananta Chaitanya Lila Kshudra Jiva Haya Kevarnite Pare Taha Vistara Kari. The pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are unlimited. How much can its small living entity elaborate about those transcendental pastimes? Sutrakari Ganeyadi Apane Ananta Sahasravadane Teho Nahi Payanda. If Sheshnag Ananta personally were to make the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya into sutras, even with his thousands of mouths, there is no possibility that he could find their limit. So many pastimes. So when he talks about that pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, I mean, the pastimes of Mahaprabhu and pastimes of Krishna are eternally going on in the spiritual world. Eternally. Okay, on earth, Mahaprabhu stayed for 48 years only. 24 in Navadvip, 24 in Jagannath Puri. And out of 24 in Jagannath Puri, we saw the description yesterday. So we might think there are not too many pastimes, but he has eternal pastimes going on in the spiritual world. Who can describe them? Similarly, Krishna, eternal, unlimited pastimes in the spiritual world. Damodara Swarupar Gupta Murari Mukhya Mukhya Leela Sutre Likhiya Vichari. Devotees like Sri Swarup Damodar and Murari Gupta have recorded all the principal pastimes of Lord Chaitanya in the form of notes after deliberate consideration. Sei anusare likhi Leela Sutra Gana Visatari Varni Achinta Das Vrindavan. The notes kept by Shri Swarup Damodar and Murari Gupta are the basis of this book. Following these notes, I write of all the pastimes of the Lord. The notes have been described elaborately by Vrindavan Das Thakur. So again and again, he gives credit to Vrindavan Das Thakur. He doesn't even want credit, although he wrote such a wonderful literature. Chaitanya Lila Ravyas Das Vrindavan Madhura Kariya Lila Karila Rachana. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, the authorized writer of the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is as good as Srila Vyasadeva. He has described the pastimes in such a way as to make them sweeter and sweeter. Grantha Vistar Bhai Chadila Yaya Sthana Sei Sthane Kichu Kariba Vyakyam. Being afraid of his books becoming too voluminous, he left some places without vivid descriptions. I shall try to fill those places as far as possible. Prabhura Lilamrita Teho Kaila Aspadana Tara Mukta Shesha Kichu Kariye Charvan. The transcendental pastimes of Lord Chaitanya have actually been relished by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. I'm simply trying to chew the remnants of food left by him. This is real humility. Adi Lila Sutra Likhi Shuna Bhakta Gana Sankshepe Likhiye Samyak Nayaya Likha. My dear devotees of Lord Chaitanya, let me now write a synopsis of the Adi Lila. I write of these pastimes in brief because it is not possible to describe them in full. Kona Vancha Purana Lagi Vrajendra Kumara Avatirna Haite Mane Karila Vichara. To fulfill a particular desire within his mind, Lord Krishna Rajendra Kumar decided to descend to this planet after mature contemplation. Aage avatarila ye guru parivara sankshepe kahiye kaha na jaye vistara. Lord Krishna therefore first allowed his family of superiors to descend to the earth. I shall try to describe them in brief, because it is not possible to describe them fully. So many devotees actually came. Shri Sachi Jagannath Shri Madhava Puri, Keshava Bhartiyar Shri Ishwara Puri, Advaita Acharyar Pandit Srinivas, Acharya Ratna Vidya Nidhi Thakur Haridas. Lord Shri Krishna, before appearing as Lord Chaitanya, requested these devotees to precede him. Shri Sachi Devi, was his mother, Jagannath Mishra, father, Madhvendra Puri, Keshav Bharti, Ishwar Puri, Advaita Acharya, Shrivas Pandit, Acharya Ratna, Vidyanidhi, and Thakur Haridas. Shri Hatt Nivasi Shri Upendra Mishra Nam, Vaishnava Pandit Dhani Sadhu Gun Pradhan. There was also Shri Upendra Mishra, a resident of the district of Shri Hatta. He was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu, a learned scholar, a rich man, and a reservoir of all good qualities. Upendra Mishra is described in the Gaur Ganadesh Deepika as Gopal, named Parjanya. The same personality who was formerly the grandfather of Lord Krishna appeared as Upendra Mishra at Shrihat and Shrihatta and begot 7 sons. So Parjanya was the father of no, I'm confused. The father of Nanda Maharaj or Vasudev ji? No, it has to be Nanda Maharaj. Yeah, he was father of Nanda Maharaj. So same Parjanya appeared as Upendra Mishra. So Upendra Mishra was father of Jagannath Mishra, who was father of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was a resident of Dhaka, Dakshinagram, in the district of Srihatta. There are still many residents of that part of the country who introduce themselves as belonging to the Mishra family of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sapta Mishra Taraputra, Sapta Rishishwara, Kanchari Paramananda, Padmanabh Sarveshwara, Jagannath Janardhan, Trilokyanath, Nadiyate Gangavasa, Kaila Jagannath. Upendra Mishra had 7 sons who were all saintly and most influential. Kansari, Paramananda, Padmanabh, Sarveshwar, Jagannath, Janardhan, and Trilokyanath. Jagannath Mishra, the 5th son, decided to reside on the banks of Ganges at Nadia. Jagannath Mishra var Padvi Purandar, Nanda Vasudeva Rupa Sadguna Sagar. Jagannath Mishra was designated as Purandar, exactly like Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva. He was an ocean of all good qualities. So Purandar, Purandar was another name of Vasudeva. But Jagannath Mishra had qualities of both Nanda Baba and Vasudeva. Tar Patni Shachi Naam, Pativrata Sati, Yar Pita Nilambar, Naam Chakravarti. His wife Srimati Sachi Devi was a chaste woman, highly devoted to her husband. Shachi Devi's father's name was Nilambar and his surname was Chakravarti. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhasha, in Gauraganadesh Deepika, it is mentioned that Nilambar Chakravarti was formerly Gargamuni. Some of the family descendants of Nilambar Chakravarti still live in the village of the name Magdoba in the district of Faridpur in Bangladesh. His nephew was Jagannath Chakravarti, also known as Mamu Thakur, who became a disciple of Pandit Goswami and stayed at Jagannath Puri as a priest of Tota Gopinath. So Mamu Thakur, as we studied earlier, he was nephew of Jagannath Chakravarti. So became almost like brother of Sachi Devi. So he was Mama of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he was called Mamu Thakur. Nilambar Chakravarti lived at Navdeep in the neighborhood of Belpukuria. This fact is mentioned in the book Prem Vilas. Because he lived near the house of the Qazi was also considered one of the maternal uncles of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now this Qazi, his name was Chand Qazi. So there's, I think in this book only we get this pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taking out civil disobedience movement against Chand Qazi. So he was Muslim. He lived near the house of Nilambar Chakravarti. So since he was younger, so he was almost the age of Shachi Mata, and he was considered as one of the maternal uncles of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Considered, because in village, same age girls and boys, they call each other brother and sister. So in this way, he became, he was considered. But also, Chand Qazi, we'll study later, he was in Krishna Lila, he was Kansa. So Kansa was Mama of Krishna. So here Chand Qazi became, Kansa became Chand Qazi in Mahaprabhu's Leela. The Qazi used to address Nilambar Chakravarti as Kaka or uncle. One cannot separate the residence of the Qazi from Vaman Pukur because the tomb of Qazi is still existing. Formerly, the place was known as Bel Pukuria. Now it is called Vaman Pukur. This has been ascertained by archaeological evidence. And actually, on the road that we take from Calcutta to Mayapur, and when we get on the road really that goes to the temple, our temple. So much before our temple, even before Yogapeeth, There is a place in the market area. There's a small garden, and there are two trees in that garden. So one tree, let me remember it correctly. One tree is of champak, and the other tree, I believe it's of kadamba, if I'm not wrong. I have to read it again, I'm forgetting. So the champak tree, and they are intertwined. So it is said that champak tree actually represents Chandkazi and kadamba tree represents Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they are intertwined over there. It's a wonderful place. People do parikrama of those two trees to get the mercy. And Kamsa came as Chandkazi. And that's a wonderful pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he took out the civil disobedience movement against Chandkazi's order. And there is a conversation between Mahaprabhu and Chandkazi. And after that, Chandkazi gives a decree that nobody from our family or in my kingdom will ever stop Harinam Sankirtan. Because it started off from that. He had stopped Harinam Sankirtan. Radha Desha Janmila Thakur Nityananda Ganga Das Pandit Gupta Murari Mukunda. In Radha Desh, the part of Bengal where Ganges is not visible, Nityanand Prabhu, Ganga Das Pandit, Murari Gupta, and Mukunda took birth. Here, Radha Desh refers to the village of the name Ek Chakra in the district of Birbhum, next to Burdwan. After the Burdwan railway station, there is another branch line which is called the Loop line of Eastern Railway, and there is a railway station of the name of Mallarpur. 8 miles east of this railway station, Ek Chakra village is still situated. Ek Chakra village extends north and south for an area of about 8 miles. Other villages, namely Veerachandrapura and Veerabhadrapura, are situated within the area of the village of Ek Chakra. In honor of the holy name of Veerbhadra Goswami, these places are renowned as Veerachandrapura and Veerabhadrapura. So this Ek Chakra village that Prabhupada is talking about, that is a place where Nityanand Prabhu appeared. And there's so many places of his pastimes in that village. And also this is the village. Now if you go back or take a little turn, Mahabharat, when 5 Pandavas and Kunti Devi, Duryodhan tried to kill them in Lakshagraha in Hastinapur, or outside Hastinapur. So that place is near Meerut. So from Lakshagraha, Vidurji saved them, but he told them to leave that place and stay in the forest. So while in the forest, they were walking everywhere, hiding as Brahmins, and they came to this place also, Ek Chakra. Now somebody will say, from Meerut all the way to Ek Chakra, which is closer to actually Bangladesh right now. But they came, of course, for pure devotees like 5 Pandavas, and Mother Kunti was also there with them at that time. They were all completely controlled by Krishna. They came here because somehow Krishna sent them here. Also, they did not witness the pastimes of Mahaprabhu, but they knew the pastimes of Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Prabhu will take place here. So they came. And this is the place where Bhima went into the forest and killed that Bakasur. In the name of taking food for him, he killed that demon Bakasur. So this is the place, Ek Chakra. In the Bengali year 1331, AD 1924, a thunderbolt struck the temple of Ek Chakra. Therefore, the temple is now in a broken state. Before this, there were no such accidents in that corner. Within the temple, there is a deity of Shri Krishna established by Shri Nityanand Prabhu. The name of the deity is Bankim Rai or Banka Rai. And actually, this deity of Bankim Rai, when Nityanand Prabhu unmanifested his pastimes, it is said that he merged into this deity of Bankim Rai. On Bankim Rai's right side is the deity of Janava, and on his left side is Shrimati Radharani. The priests of the temple describe the Lord Nityananda Prabhu entered within the body of Bankim Rai, and that the deity of Janava Mata was therefore later placed on the right side of Bankim Rai. Afterwards, many other deities were installed within the temple. On another throne within the temple are deities of Murlidhar and Radha Mata. On another throne are deities of Mano Mohan, Vrindavan Chandra, and Gaurnitai. But Bankim Rai is a deity originally installed by Nityanand Prabhu. On the eastern side of the temple is a ghat known as Kadamba Khandi, on the bank of a river called the Yamuna. And it is said that the deity of Bankim Rai was floating in the water, and Lord Nityanand Prabhu picked him up and then installed him in the temple. Thereafter, in a place known as Bhaddapura, in the village of Veerchandrapura, about half a mile west, in a place underneath a neem tree, Shrimati Radharani was found. For this reason, the Radharani of Bankim Rai was known as Bhaddapurera Thakurani, the mistress of Bhaddapur. On another throne on the right side of Bankim Rai is a deity of Yogamaya. Now, the temple and temple corridor rest on a high plinth, and on a concrete structure in the front of the temple is a Kirtan hall. It is also said that on the northern side of the temple there was a deity of Lord Shiva named Bhandishwara, and that the father of Nityanand Prabhu, Hadai Pandit, used to worship that deity. At present, however, the Bhandishwara deity is missing, and in its place, a Jagannath Swami deity has been installed. Lord Nityanand Prabhu did not factually construct any temples. The temple was constructed at the time of Veerbhadra Prabhu. In the Bengali year 1298 or AD 1891, a brahmachari of the name of Shivanand Swami repaired the temple, for it had become dilapidated. And now actually ISKCON has a nice temple in Ek Chakra. In this temple, there is an arrangement to offer food to the deity on the basis of 17 seers, about 34 pounds of rice and necessary vegetables. The present priestly order of the temple belongs to the family of Gopijan Vallabhananda, one of the branches of Nityanand Prabhu. There is a land settlement in the name of the temple, and income from this land finances the expenditures for the temple. There are three parties of priestly Goswamis who take charge of temple management, one after another. A few steps from the temple is a place known as Vishramatala, where it is said that Nityanand Prabhu in his childhood used to enjoy sporting with his boyfriends by enacting the Ras Lila and various other pastimes of Vrindavan. So that he used to do at Vishramatala. Near the temple is a place named Amalitala or Imlitala, which is so named because of a big tamarind tree here. According to a party named Nedadi Sampradaya, Veerbhadra Prabhu, with the assistance of 1200 Nedas, Buddhist monks, dug a great lake of the name Shvetaganga. Outside of the temple are tombs of the Goswamis, and there is a small river known as Modeshwara, which is called the water of Yamuna. Within half a mile from this small river is the birthplace of Shri Nityanand Prabhu. It appears that there was a big Kirtan hall in front of the temple, but later it became dilapidated. It is now covered by banyan trees. Later on, a temple was constructed within which Gaur Nityanand deities are existing. The temple was constructed by late Prasanna Kumar Karafarma, A tablet was installed in his memory in the Bengali year 1323 or AD 1916 in the month of Vaishak. The place where Nityanand Prabhu appeared is called Garbhavas. There is an allotment of about 43 bighas or 14 acres of land to continue the worship in a temple there. The Maharaj of Dinajpura donated 20 bighas of land, about 6.5 acres in this connection. It is said that near the place known as Garbhavas, Hadai Pandit conducted a primary school. The priests of this place listed in a genealogical table were as follows: Shri Raghav Chandra, Jagadanandas, Krishnadas, Nityanandas, Ramdas, Vrajmohandas, Kanaidas, Gauradas, Shivanandas, and Haridas. Krishnadas belonged to the Chidiya Kunja at Vrindavan. The date of his disappearance is Krishna Janmashtami. Chidiya Kunja is a place now managed by the Goswamis of Shringar Ghat in Vrindavan. They are also known as belonging to Nityanand family, most probably on the basis of their relationship with Krishnadas. So I don't know how Prabhupada got all this information and he has put in the commentary, so it is kept safe. Near Garbhavas is a place called Bakula Tala, where the Shri Nityanand Prabhu and his boyfriends used to take part in sporting activities known as Jhal Japeta. There is a Bakula tree there that is wonderful because of all its branches and sub-branches look like the hoods of serpents. It has been suggested that by the desire of Shri Nityanand Prabhu, Anantadeva manifested himself in that way. The tree is very old. It is said that formerly it had 2 trunks, but later on, when the playmates of Nityanand Prabhu felt inconvenience in jumping from the branches of one trunk to those of the other, Nityanand Prabhu, by his mercy, merged the 2 trunks into one. So there were 2 trunks and they were far apart, and boys, all his boyfriends, they would jump from one tree to another. But they had some problem. They were a little different, distance away. So Nityanand Prabhu just brought them together. It's a Bakula tree, big tree, but Nityanand Prabhu can do it. Another place nearby is named Antugada. It is said that Lord Nityanand Prabhu brought all the holy places there. Therefore, the people in the surrounding villages go there instead of go to the Ganges to take bath. It is named Hantu Gada because Shri Nityanand Prabhu used to perform the Dadi Chira festival of distributing chipped rice with yogurt prasadam there. And he took the prasadam kneeling down. A sanctified lake in this place is always full of water throughout the year. A great fair is held here during Goshthamashtami. And there is another big fair on the birthday of Shri Nityanand Prabhu. In the Gaur Gaunadesh Deepik, it is described that Hala Yuddha, Baladev, Vishwarup and Sankarshan appeared as Nityanand Avadhut. So, another wonderful place that we need to visit, Ekchakragram. Asankhya Bhukter Karai Avatar Sheshe Avatirna Haila Rajendra Kumar. Lord Krishna of Rajendra Kumar first caused countless devotees to appear, and at last he appeared himself. Prabhu Ravir Bhava Purve Yat Vaishnav Gana Advaita Acharya Sthane Karena Gaman. Before the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the devotees of Navadvip used to gather in the house of Advaita Acharya. Gita Bhagavad kahe Acharya Gosai Jnana Karma Nindi Kare Bhaktira Badai. In these meetings of the Vaishnavas, Advaita Acharya used to recite the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, decrying the paths of philosophical speculation and fruitive activity, and establishing the super excellence of devotional service. So here is establishing devotional service, super excellence. And when he wanted to be chastised by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was saying yoga. He was speaking on yoga Vashishta. not on Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarva Shastra kahe Krishna Bhakti Ravya Kyanam Jnana Yoga Tapo Dharma Nahi Manyam. In all the revealed scriptures of Vedic culture, devotion service to Lord Krishna is explained throughout. Therefore, devotees of Lord Krishna do not recognize the processes of philosophical speculation, Gyan, mystic yoga, Ashtanga yoga, whatever, unnecessary austerity, and so-called religious rituals. They do not accept any process but devotional service. Prabhupada says our Krishna consciousness movement follows this principle. We do not recognize any method of spiritual realization other than Krishna consciousness, devotional service. Sometimes we are criticized by groups following Gyan, Yoga, Tapa, Dharma. But fortunately, we are unable to make any compromises with them. We simply stand on the platform of devotional service and preach the same principles all over the world. Yes, we get criticized, and people say so many things. But at the same time, we got to be careful when we are preaching. We don't need to put down anybody. We just need to, because we are not in a position of Prabhupada or an Acharya. So we just need to glorify devotional service so much. And this glorification is not just by our speaking, by our actions also. So people are automatically interested in bhakti. They get attracted to bhakti. There should be. Tara Sangye Ananda Kare Vaishnavera Gana Krishna Katha Krishna Puja Nama Sankirtan. In the house of Advaita Acharya, all the Vaishnavas took pleasure in always talking of Krishna, always worshipping Krishna, and always chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. On these principles only does the Krishna consciousness movement go on. We have no business other than to talk of Krishna, worship Krishna, and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it is said that, right? Krishna Katha, Krishna Puja, Nama Sankirtan. So this was going on even before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. It's not that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave it. He propagated it further. Yes, he established a Nam Sankirtan as Yug Dharma because he is Yugavata. But still the Hare Krishna Mahamantra was being chanted even before him. Kintu sarva loka deki Krishna bahir mokha Vishay nimagna loka deki paye dukha. But Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu felt pained to see all the people without Krishna consciousness, simply merging in material sense enjoyment. A bona fide devotee of Lord Krishna is always pained to see the fallen condition of the whole world. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say, there is no scarcity of anything within this world. The only scarcity is of Krishna consciousness. That is the vision of all pure devotees. Because of this lack of Krishna consciousness in human society, people are suffering terribly, being merged in an ocean of nations and sense gratification. A devotee onlooker is very much aggrieved to see such a situation in the world. And people are suffering terribly. Although they think they are enjoying, as Prabhupada, being merged in an ocean of nations and sense gratification. Ignorance and only eat, drink, and be merry philosophy. Actually, they are suffering. They don't know what's the real standard of enjoyment. And everybody is running after enjoyment in the name of giving pleasure to the senses, mostly the skin. And they think this is it. This is all in all. That's it. But if that gave any pleasure, then why they have to run after newer and newer pleasure all the time? Loker nistar hetu kare na chintana, kemate sarva loker hai betara. Seeing the condition of the world, he began to think seriously of how all these people could be delivered from the clutches of Maya. And this Advaita Acharya sitting in Navadvip is thinking like that. And if he sees, or if the devotees of Navadvip at that time see the world situation right now of Navadvip, of West Bengal, of India, of the whole world, they would really go crazy that what has happened. This we are talking 500 some years ago in Navadvip, which was still pure place. Krishna avatari kare bhakti vistara tabe tasakal loke rahive nistara. Srila Advaita Acharya Prabhu thought if Krishna himself appears in order to distribute the cult of devotion service, then only will liberation be possible for all people. Advaita Acharya was Mahavishnu, combined Mahavishnu and Sadashiv together. He is thinking if only Krishna can come and give devotion service, otherwise how they'll get liberated. Even he himself thought, I'm incapable of doing that. Just as a condemned person can be relieved by a special favor of the chief executive head, the president or king, so the condemned people of this Kali Yuga can be delivered only by the Supreme Personality of God himself, or a person especially empowered for this purpose. Srila Advaita Acharya Prabhu desired that the Supreme Personality of Godhead advent himself to deliver the fallen souls of this age. Krishna avatarite acharya pratigya kare, Krishna puja kare tulsi ganga jaladi. With this consideration, Advaita Acharya Prabhu, promising to cause Lord Krishna to descend, began to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna with tulsi leaves and water of the Ganges. Tulsi leaves and Ganges water with, if possible, a little pulp of sandalwood. It's sufficient paraphernalia to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toya. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I shall accept it. Following this principle, Advaita Prabhu pleased the Supreme Personality of Godhead with tulsi leaves and water of the Ganges. Krishnera avan kare saghana hunkare akrishta haila Brajendra Kumar. By loud cries, he invited Krishna to appear, and this repeated invitation attracted Lord Krishna to descend. Of course, it is Mahavishnu himself inviting. So how can Krishna say no? Jagannathan Shira Patni Shachira Udare Ashta Kanya Krame Haila Janmi Janmi Mare. Before the birth of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 8 daughters took birth, one after another, from the womb of Shachimata, the wife of Jagannath Mishra. But just after their birth, they all died. So some place I read, these 8 daughters represented Ashtasiddhis. So after the desire of Ashtasiddhis is gone from our heart, and after that, actually, first Vishwarup will take birth, and later on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So after a desire for Ashtasiddhis is gone, then Vishwarup, who's Nityanand Prabhu himself, Balramji, makes the womb fertile, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared after. Okay, I guess we can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments? Okay, you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna, Jai
Hare
Shri Ram.
Krishna.